Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nerd Identity Crisis, episode 118. I'm your host, Ryan By, joined as always by Mr. Adam Lovar,
Hello, hello.
my literal brother from another mother, Justin Pickmans,
Howdy
and
do.
Josh still haven't thought of a dang good nickname for him yet, Huffman.
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
Changing it up on
I was
me.
gonna say, you censoring yourself today?
Threw in the dang. How's everybody doing, boys? Good week?
So far, so good.
Yeah, not bad.
A GD good week? Wait,
Dang.
GD? Yeah, whatever. See, I can't get on this.
Any fun, exciting news in hockey, Adam, Josh?
We all went to a game on Saturday
Where'd you go?
night.
Which game?
Our local team, Cedar Rapids Rough Riders, against their rival, the Waterloo Blackhawks, and they won.
Win? Fuck yeah.
Yep, 4-2.
Yeah.
There
It was a
you
good
go.
game. It was a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Well, one of our teammates definitely got pretty bloodied. His front of his shirt was definitely covered in blood, but
Really?
still won.
Dude, I love how just fucking hockey players are the toughest fucking sport humans on the planet. Like, forget it. It's not even close.
Yeah. And these are all like
This
young
one-
kids too.
Yeah, I will say this one was a little silly to me because one of the fights was there another fight after I left?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so. I think it was just the one.
Mm-hmm.
These kids are fighting and they're both wearing their helmets and just punching each other in the helmet
Mhm.
over and over again. I'm like, you guys aren't even really doing anything to each other. You're just fucking up your hands.
Trying to knock each other's helmet off, rock'em sock'em robot style.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
What you got to do is you got to watch the skates because they always are aiming for the face, but they're both sliding away from each other, and
Right.
so it's always like funny to watch the skates while they're fighting because really good bruisers in hockey, they're rock solid on their skates. These kids, they're like 17. They're sliding all over the place, like, throwing punches. And
That's awesome. Very
not
nice.
to talk shit, because I would be on my ass before anyone even remotely tried to fight me, because I don't know how to skate.
I
So
was gonna say, the second my skate hit the ice, I'd be on my ass. Like,
Yeah.
the very second.
I would have lost the fight as soon as I step out of the area. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't follow hockey too closely, but I follow the Wild just enough to know that we have apparently the most talented team in Wild history, and we're 0-2 right now, so that's pretty exciting. So, Minnesota sports. So,
Yep.
it's
the
kinda
the
how it
season is early though.
Yeah, that's true. It's early. So,
There's
and
like
apparently,
89 games or so, 87 games a season, something like that. And so
Not enough.
it's never enough.
it's more than football, less than baseball, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
There you go. That works. All right, boys. Let's dive into the episode. We start, as we always do, with a listener question from Jacob. Hello, Jacob.
What up, Jacob?
Hi.
What's up, Jacob?
Jacob says, if an animal were charging at you at full speed, which one would terrify you the most? Kind of a loaded question, because I feel like the answer could be damn near any animal. Like, if you really think about it, almost any animal running at you at full speed is kind of scary. So
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I put any big dog.
yeah,
Right? Like it could be anything.
right.
If it's a
But-
hamster, like, I could just kick it. I could just punt it if I need to.
Okay,
Like,
a hamster wouldn't be scary, but it would still startle you. Tell me it wouldn't startle you. A hamster
Depends.
comes around the corner out of nowhere.
Yeah, but I feel like if
Sprinting
it's
at you, you'd be
charging,
like, what the fuck?
yeah, it depends on how far it's sprinting. Because if it's like across
Yeah.
the room, I've got time to prepare. There's no surprise there. No offense to your guinea pig, Adam, but
Yeah.
like, if it charged me, I think I would win that fight.
I think you'd be confused, be like, why is it running at me? Like you don't think it's like stampeding and all of a sudden it bites you on your ankle. You're like,
Why is it
Like-
nibbling my shoe?
yeah.
So, Adam, what animal would terrify you the most if you had to
Uh,
pick?
I would say a grizzly or polar bear.
Okay, fair enough. That'll fuck your day up real fast.
Yeah,
Real fast.
because those things can run fast.
Yeah.
There's no outrunning something like that. I've seen
Right.
those things chase down, or in videos, seen them like chase down deer and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Like the
Yeah, any
oh,
bear, I would be very sad. Like life is
You're just
over.
like, welp, this is how I end today.
um like what's that Leonardo DiCaprio movie where he gets mauled by the bear?
Oh yeah,
I forgot what it's called.
me too. Great movie though.
It
Yeah,
is good.
dude, that was
I
a
can't think of what
fucking
it's called.
crazy scene to watch. Getting mauled by oh my god, fuck that.
Yeah,
that'd be
so that.
that'd be horrifying. Justin, you're going with any large dog?
Yeah, I mean, like you guys said, there's a bajillion things you could pick here, but any big dog, I'm instantly terrified.
That's a fair answer.
I'll even take medium and upsized dog. I don't like dogs that much.
Not gonna lie, even a Chihuahua, I'm at least nervous.
You're skeptical. You're
Yeah.
skeptical as to what's about to happen.
I'm uncomfortable. At the very least, I'm about to punt somebody's pet. At the very best, I'm about to get bit in the ankle.
Right. I love it. Josh, what's your answer?
Mine's a tiger, like those big ass like Siberian tigers, that are like small cars.
Yeah.
First thought was grizzly bear, polar bear as well, but like some bears, not grizzlies or polar bears, but like black bears, you can scare away typically.
Yeah.
And so like I would be afraid, but less afraid with a black bear. Grizzly, like you pretend to be dead. Polar bears, you just die because it's polar bears enjoy killing things. You're kind of fucked either way. And then, but like, I don't know what you do against tigers. Like, I have not prepared for this. I've gone, hiking in the mountains where bears are like a real threat. But if like a tiger would just like randomly in my basement somehow, I'm fucked. Yeah, I haven't prepared for this. Like, even my bear mace is like upstairs. I'm screwed. I can't get to it. They're too fast. But yeah, so polar bear definitely up there. Tiger, I think, for sure, medium to large dogs.
Right. So I went with the fastest land animal alive. I went with the cheetah, who can run up to 70 miles an hour. Like, think
But
about
how
that.
fast can you go, Ryan?
Can I go?
Yeah.
I bet I have a top speed of 3 miles an hour. Like,
So shouldn't you
no
be afraid
way.
of something that has a top speed of 5?
The
like-
one bonus is you wouldn't have to be afraid for very long because it would catch
Yeah,
you
that's-
very quickly.
Right? Like, I was thinking about this question on my drive to work after I read it, and I was like, even if, like, but the store I work in is 60,000 square feet. Even if I'm on one side and the cheetah's on the other side of the store, it's gonna be on me before you can even like think to react. I just fuck no, dude. You have zero chance. Zero chance. Before you can even try to come up with a plan, it's over. It's fucking over.
I think you just need to jump to the side because the tile, it's not used to like
Yeah.
a slippery surface. It's just gonna like
There you go.
wham, right into a cooler, right into the oven, and you bake it.
Just close the oven door. Fuck. Oh shit. Thank you for that terrifying question, Jacob. We appreciate it as always. All right, boys, let's talk some video games. I'll start with let's see, what are we playing now? Why don't we go to Josh first? Josh, what have you been playing?
Genshin.
Yep, figured that. Yep.
Yeah, I know. Shocking news. Little status update that I am almost done with all the new Archon quests, which mean nothing to any of you. and that's fine. But I'm almost caught up to date on all of the story and everything. But my quest log is like 30 things, so there's a shit ton of side stuff that I haven't even started. But just threw some random rolls and pulled the 5-star Albedo, who is
Is
great.
that good?
That is good. Yep. Albedo's great. He's a painter and also like Lieutenant Commander Data. He's not a real boy.
Is Pinocchio?
He is Pinocchio. But I like Albedo as a character quite a bit. No idea if he's any good, like in the game, but I do like the character quite a bit. And
what you just said went really far over my head.
Yep. That's fine. And all 0 listeners who give a shit will be glad to hear it. But that's pretty much it. I don't think played some Gloomhaven. Getting farther in that, I am 2 core missions away from retiring the Spellweaver, and then I will have to roll a new character, which will be both interesting and kind of a bummer at the same time. But I think that's the only games I've played.
All right, fair enough. Cool. Jess, what about you?
So the only thing that I've been playing is still a lot of Torn.
Okay.
And Adam and I have been busting quite a bit of Grounded. Still been really digging that. We Saturday morning explored a particular spot that unlocked zip lines for us. And then we spent most of Saturday and Sunday mornings building giant towers. So now we can zip line.
That just sounds fucking terrible. Like, that just sounds fucking terrible.
It was so
Like,
fun.
The zip lines sound fun, but
It was awesome.
Once
Once
it's
it was
built,
all done,
sure.
it was so cool. Zipping along the whole backyard.
Yeah, I mean, we're at the point now though that I was telling Adam, I think we can pretty much be done building bases because we can, like, even if you are at one of the other bases you need to get somewhere else, I think you're high enough that you can just jump off and glide to where you need to go.
Oh, are there like
Worst case.
like wind glider sort of things?
Dandelion tufts that you can hang on to.
Nice.
There you go. What's crazy to me, like, think about how did it take this long for somebody to be like, we need to make a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids game? Like, it's such a cool
20
idea.
some years,
Right.
I guess.
Like, it's such a
At
cool
least
idea,
30.
but the
Was
building
there not
part
one
is
on the
insane.
NES or something back in the day?
I'm sure there is. There was for everything. There was.
Yeah,
They had
I'm sure there was.
NES or SNES had fucking everything. They had a home improvement game. Y'all remember that? You were like Tim.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, you were like you played Tim Allen, who like went through a portal and had to shoot dinosaurs with a nail gun. It was ridiculous. But oh shit.
No
All
worse
right.
than the Home Alone
Right.
games,
All of
and
them.
like
All
all of
the
them were
above.
just terrible. So
Yeah.
yeah.
They're all awful. So
I
anything
just
else? Justin?
searched.
What's that?
I just searched for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, a video game, and I am only finding articles about Grounded.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah, so if it does exist, Grounded is just like there's
Taken
too
over
many
it, yeah.
too many references to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids for it to be searchable anymore.
I like it. Anything else, Justin?
Nope.
All right.
That is it.
Adam, what about yourself?
Grounded. That's pretty
Yeah.
much it. I mean, even to the point where Kat and I started a game this weekend. Then she was playing on Xbox and I was playing on PC because it's
Nice.
cross-platform and stuff like that. So
Nice.
it's been a lot of fun just exploring and building and fighting ants and spiders and shit like that. I don't know. Scratches a good survival itch right now.
Very cool. Awesome. Very
Yeah,
nice.
it's making me extremely excited for Nightingale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Probably not me, but that's fine. That works. To each their own, right? Everybody's got their own thing. I think that's what makes this podcast. Huh?
Even asking you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, well, fuck me, right? All right. So I've been playing a little more Shadow of Mordor. I think I'm done with it, man. I think this is just gonna go into another slot of a game I never beat. Cause it's the same. I just can't do it all again. The whole thing, whole rigmarole again of taking over another area. I just can't do it. So it's probably just gonna be. I enjoyed my time with it for a while, and that's that. So that's kind of how it's gonna be. Um,
Fair.
and then uh, so tomorrow, Plague Tale Requiem comes out. And I was like, I don't think I ever beat Plague Tale Innocence, so I'm gonna have to go back to that. And I did never beat it because I remember I started playing that game shortly after we got Sadie. And minor spoilers in the very beginning of the game, like the prologue of the game, the dog dies, and I shut it off. So I never went back to it.
You
'Cause-
pulled a John Wick on a game,
yeah, they
sorta. I
did.
mean, I
They
guess you
did.
didn't kill it, but
And it was like it was kind of brutal the way they did it. So I was like, oh fuck, dude. So anyways, I did go back, and that's what I've been playing. It's a fucking good game, dude. Like,
Which
and
one was that?
honestly, Plague Tale Innocence and Plague Tale Requiem comes out tomorrow, so the sequel.
I'm gonna
But
say the sequel comes out sometime soon. I think.
yeah, it
Tomorrow?
hits Game Pass tomorrow or tonight at midnight, whatever you want to say. So, um, so yeah, I really want to get through that and then jump into the next game. But it's really good, dude. And honestly, this is one of those games I don't normally like because it's a lot of just running away. And for those who've listened to this podcast a while, I don't like games like that. Like that Alien Isolation game Leif loved. It was unplayable because all you do is just sneak and run away. It was unplayable. And this is kind of like that. Like there is some combat, like you get a sling that you can kill people with if you hit them in the head with a rock. That's pretty much it. Like you don't really get a whole lot else. So,
Hmm.
but it's like you play. Her name's Amica. She was part of a royal family or like a noble family, and then it's her and her brother Hugo, her little brother Hugo, trying to survive. Like a lot of like Joel and Ellie moments. You know what I mean? Like you can definitely tell they're trying to capitalize on the Last of Us success. Of you having someone younger than you to care for, that kind of thing. You know. Um, but it's really solid, really solid. So I'm really glad I went back to it, and I'm really enjoying my time with it. So I'll get that finished. Hopefully in the next couple of days. My wife's gone in Des Moines again all week, so I got plenty of time to game. Um, and then
Doesn't a dog die in Last of Us 2 as well? Maybe not
well, yeah,
Last of Us 2, but
yeah,
so
yeah,
like I mean they're
that's
just totally stealing. No,
yeah, right, totally stealing. Well, like I said, even in The Last of Us, dude, when I had to kill my first dog, I set the game down and took my dog for a walk. So it's like I can't do this. So
Bless you.
yeah. So anyways, that's basically all I've been playing. I haven't really been playing anything else. So my wife was actually home a good chunk of the week last week, so I didn't get a whole lot of game time in, but
At least you
lots
got
to
some
get.
wife time.
Yep, had some wife time. So we'll get a lot of gaming in this week, and Gotham Knights comes out Friday. Even though, so I didn't put this in the news, but there's a bunch of people raging because they found out Gotham Knights is going to be locked at 30 FPS on consoles. I
I
don't,
read
I,
something about that.
I don't even notice a difference, to be honest with you. Like I can't, I don't know if my eyes just don't see it. Like, is frames per second big deal to you guys?
when it's really low, it is a big deal. When
Like, is
it's
30 really low? I've been hearing
30
it
or
be.
higher, it doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah.
Like FPSs, it's much more important because
Okay.
like frames are very important when you and the other person are aiming at each other. And so it's more important in those types of games. But honestly, like since I play mostly like RPGs and things like that, it could run at like 15 and it would be probably fine.
Really?
Because
Okay.
there's not I mean, Ocarina of Time runs at 21 frames per second. It plays fine. Like,
Right.
I love that game.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, kind of, it depends on the game. But I do think that it's a little weird that a game that is coming out, I mean, in 2022 on next gen consoles needs to
Right.
run at 30 frames. There was some like discussion on, I think it was originally posted on like Twitter or something by one of the game devs that like it's because there's too much other stuff going on for it to. It needs like the extra processing power for. I feel like that's kind of bullshit. I feel like the game is probably just unoptimized because
I was gonna say it sounds like terrible coding.
yeah, because like I don't think every game can run at 60 FPS, but is there just so much happening in Arkham Knights that like they can't hit 50? Like it's just
Must
so
find out. Yeah,
so
right.
powerful. There's so much happening. Like nah, I doubt it. I doubt it. I haven't played it. You know, who knows? But it does kind of feel like they were coming up with, well, you don't know game development, and like of course you would have no idea how many frames this could run at. Here's logical reasons that next gen consoles are so powerful. Like,
Right.
you know, if they said, hey, it's gonna run at 60 FPS on the PS5, but it's only gonna run at 30 on the PS4, totally get it. I
Yeah.
get it. But
Well, they're not even releasing it on last gen. Strictly
yeah,
new gen. So crazy. I don't know. Like I've seen like videos on YouTube of like they'll do side by side 30 FPS versus 60 FPS, and I'm like, I don't even see a difference. Like I literally don't even see a difference. I don't know if my eyes just can't process it or my brain can't process what's going on, but I don't even notice. But like, I
one
don't know.
thing I will say is it's like seeing 4K or 8K when you only have a 1080p monitor. Um, like
Yeah.
people have this like, oh man, I got this like kick-ass graphics card in my machine, and then they're running on like the shittiest monitor possible, and you're like, you do realize like you haven't actually improved, like
Right.
visibly. Sure, the game runs
Right.
better, but like you know, you can't actually see it in 4K if you have a shitty monitor.
Right.
So I don't know what the refresh rate is. I don't know what the resolution and refresh rate is on your monitors or on your TV is, but there's a distinct possibility that no matter what the difference was, you wouldn't be able to see it.
Right.
Just, you know, who knows?
No, whatever. I'm fine with 30 FPS. That'll work for me. It'll play just fine. So, all right, let's do some news. We got one pretty big one this week actually. And I wrote it all in the same section, but I'm gonna kind of split it up a little bit. Like I'll read the first part, and then we'll talk about it, and then I'll read the second part. We'll talk about that because it is kind of two different things a little bit. So, number one, Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard hit a snag over the week when the UK's Competitions and Markets Authority issued a 15-page statement against the merger. In short, the statement was largely centered around the exclusivity of Call of Duty and said that although Microsoft has promised to keep the game multi-platform for the next several years, it said in part, quote, financial modeling of the merger suggests that the merged entity's incentive to foreclose Sony may be considerably stronger than suggested by the parties, end quote. And also in part, quote, Microsoft's past business practices suggest that it may be willing to make losses in the short term in order to build scale and increase its user base, end quote. So a lot to digest here. Um, I don't know if it's because I'm from the U.S. and like we're definitely the most capitalism friendly country in the world, but like I read this and I was like, yeah, yeah, like that's what they're trying to do. So I don't know, man. But Adam, we'll go to you first. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, man, I would agree 100% with that. It's like that's business. Like
Yeah,
they're trying to take down their competitor. Like,
right,
yeah, like yes, we've talked about this for weeks and weeks, and that's like what Sony does and what Xbox does. It doesn't matter, whoever gets the upper hand would be doing these same sort of moves. So I don't know.
right. And
Because like we even said, if Sony was in the same spot where they were buying it, you best believe they'd be doing the same thing. Like, sorry, Xbox, you don't get Call of Duty anymore, or whatever. Like,
right,
that's just business. Like,
absolutely. And yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like I think the U.S. is going to handle this differently than the U.K. is, obviously, but I don't know that I agree with this. And I want to make it clear, I've said this many times in the past. I have zero skin in this game. Absolutely none, because I have both consoles. You guys all play on PC. You don't really have any skin in the game either. So it's not like we're Xbox fanboys or Sony fanboys. That's not what's happening here. Um, but Justin, we'll go to you next. What do you think about this? Not really ruling, but what do you think about this statement they put out?
I don't know. Honestly, when I read this, I don't remember who I was talking to at work, but we were talking about this, and we were kind of joking that it's only a matter of time before this happens. Um, just the monopoly piece of it, but we weren't sure if it actually would. So I'm not shocked that this happened. Uh, I don't know. Like, can I guess I don't know enough about business, but like I just wonder if Microsoft doesn't still acquire it under a different LLC or some other sister child company that I don't know. I'd be surprised if this doesn't still happen.
I'm kind of with you. There's no way this isn't happening. Like it's going through. Like it's going to happen. Um, and the thing, like, anytime something like this happens, Sony's gonna bounce back. They're gonna fire something else off. They're gonna buy somebody. They're gonna acquire somebody. Like it's a back and forth. And then when Sony goes to buy something, Microsoft's gonna be like, "Well, that's not fair." Brr, brr, brr. So I mean, it's just like it's just this
Burr,
back
burr,
and forth,
burr.
right? It's this back and forth. But I thought the statement they issued, and I did not read all 15 pages. There was a link to it. If you go to gamesindustry.biz, which is where I get most of the stuff for the outline, they have an article on it with a link to the actual 15-page statement they issued. I did not read the whole thing because I'm not going
You're
to.
giving
Fuck
away the
that.
source. Now people are gonna just go read their own
Yeah,
news
right,
and skip our
right.
podcast.
So, um, but yeah, I didn't read the whole thing. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I just thought it was interesting. Josh, what are your thoughts on this?
I did read the whole thing.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. Yeah, and I
No,
will
part of me
say,
kind of had a feeling.
you're like, let's go to him last.
Yep.
I will say that although it was 15 pages, only 10 of them were actually their opinions.
Okay.
The first 5 are like, who are we? Why are we looking into this? What were the deals of the acquisition? Just like legalese of why do we give a shit, really?
Okay. All right.
So that's the first 5 pages, and then after that, then it starts making opinions. And I think it should be specified that it is an opinion of theirs. This is not like a verdict that they have like said you're not allowed to do this or anything
Right.
like that. Like if the SEC says you're not allowed to do this, that's a different thing entirely. But this will definitely have some influence if they do continue to do it and they intend on staying in the UK market, which of course they will, right? No, like they don't want to just like leave the entire
Right.
United Kingdom. So it's not like this is a oh yeah, by the way, you're not allowed to do this. In fact, this is just like their first piece of it, and then I think on the last page it says that they have until the 28th of October to reply why they disagree, and then there's mediation and information back and forth post this document. The quote that I took that I liked the most of it out of the document that was the CMA did not identify any persuasive evidence that Microsoft would be deterred from engaging in total or partial foreclosure strategies by the prospect of reputational damage to Xbox or Call of Duty. They pretty much
I
said
don't give a
Microsoft
fuck.
doesn't give a fuck what fans have to
Yeah.
say. They're gonna do it either way.
Right.
And I laughed. Just it's again legalese, but it's you know what it means when you read it.
Right.
Which is just
Not a fuck was
hilarious.
given.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care. I also like there was one line that said that like technically, although they're referencing Sony, Nintendo is also there, but they said they just put them in a completely different category because they have a more family focused strategy, and they're pretty much like Nintendo doesn't really count because Nintendo doesn't give a shit about what either of these companies are doing, which I thought was pretty apt. But
Oh shit.
I'll say I have maybe a slightly I don't know, different opinion, but although this is absolutely how capitalism works and absolutely what their goal is, I do appreciate when monopolies don't happen.
Right.
And so, although I
But
fully expect this to complete and I fully expect this result from them, um, I would hope that there would be a different route. I don't expect there to be,
right.
but one thing
Do you truly believe that they're approaching monopoly with this? Because I don't think so. Personally, I don't.
but anti-consumerism and monopoly are two different things.
That's fair.
The CMA's entire thing is anti-consumerism minus the second part, which we haven't discussed yet. That one's something else entirely, but it's very much like had like Call of Duty not been involved, like if they bought Activision but not Call of Duty somehow, this verdict would not be what it was.
Right.
Because almost every page mentions about how easy it will be for Microsoft to just take Call of Duty off of every other system, and
Right.
that Call of Duty is too large and too expensive and too big to just do that. Which is interesting that like Call of Duty somehow, even though they're shitty games, is so pervasive in the like in
It is
gaming.
crazy.
That like you could be called anti-consumer just for like taking it off of one system,
Right.
which is crazy that how big these things are now. But just kind of interesting. So I appreciate when people try to look for the fans' best interest. I don't appreciate like the company that owns Epic, whatever that conglomerate was. You know what I'm talking about? Owns Epic
Yeah.
and owns
God damn
Riot
it.
Games and whatever. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. I don't appreciate that they're buying every single thing.
Right.
And so like I don't know, pros and cons. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting read. I don't know that I would recommend reading all of it. But it's interesting.
Yeah.
I can link it in I'll link it in Twitch chat if anyone is.
There you go. That works. All right. Well, let's get to the second part of this quick. So the CMA also ruled, which ruled isn't the right word. I just realized that, but whatever. I'm going with it. The CMA also ruled that it considers Game Pass to be a separate market from retail sales of games and consoles, and that Game Pass is approaching a monopoly in the subscription-based games market. Uh, Justin, we'll go to you on this one first. You agree with that?
I mean, I agree that it's not in the same market, and I mean, no one honestly compares to them in the streaming games thing. Like Stadia was probably the closest thing to it, and now with
Womp womp.
them closing, now they like if you're in a 5-car race and 2 cars are 4 laps ahead and one just crashed,
Right.
yeah, it's I mean, I don't know how any company is going to compete with Microsoft at this point. Like Sony's did
Sorry,
you
go ahead.
hear? I just read something like Sony paid the Arc developers like $2 million or something to put Arc on their PlayStation Plus.
No shit, really?
And so like if Sony's bleeding that much money to try to get games that people would actually want to play, I just yeah, I would say that Game Pass is probably approaching a monopoly in the subscription-based game market.
To that point though, it kind of reminds me of, you remember when Netflix went to Blockbuster and was like, "Hey, you should buy us. Like this is going to be huge." Blockbuster was like, "Nah, this isn't it. This is not the future." That's kind of what's going on with Sony and Game Pass. Like Sony explicitly said for years the subscription model is not sustainable. We will not be investing in this subscription model. It's not going to happen. So they didn't. And they just let Microsoft take over. Like they just let it happen because they didn't think it was going to be big. And I don't know how you can fucking fault Microsoft for that. They were ahead of the game. I'm sorry. And now Sony's trying to come back. And kind of to your point too, like to pay for to get games that people actually want to play on their subscription service, they have that with their own games. Like they have that, but they won't put shit on there. Like we've talked about the mega tier, the highest paying tier for the subscription service. The game, I'm not gonna pay an extra $20 a month to play fucking Ape Escape. Like where's I'm just not. Like where's Alundra? Where's Wild Arms? Where's Legend of Dragoon? Where's all these fucking classics that people love? Where are those games? You can put those games on there and you're not. And I just that's what bugs me about that part of it. But uh Josh, we'll go to you next. What are your thoughts on this?
No, I think there's a couple of things involved here. The first one is that I do think that they're approaching monopoly, but they also have like a ridiculous amount of infrastructure for it. So for a company, how do you make a company that gets into streaming games currently? You have to have a ridiculous infrastructure. You have to have a cloud service, whether that be AWS or Azure or something, or you build your own, as ridiculously expensive as that would be. And then you have to get involved with all the game companies, which, if you have to run them on an OS, so you either get Linux or you pay Microsoft for their OS to run the backend for that. So like, it's I don't know how you get into it if you're not a megacorp currently. So the difference between I think like the Netflix reference is that was pretty early on when you could be small and shitty. You can't be small and shitty these days, like to be a game subscription service. So I honestly don't know how you would be a competitor at this point, other than shilling out billions of dollars. And I mean, if Google is bowing out, if PlayStation isn't really doing it, Amazon, we're running out of really, really, really profitable like tech companies.
Nintendo, Amazon, probably
Uh,
about it.
Yeah, and so I don't.
Nintendo's kind of doing it.
Yeah, a little
but
bit. They are.
with
Yeah.
their own games, and they're just recycling games they
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
had.
Yeah, so like I just don't know, because there's a monopoly where there is tons of business and you have bought or crushed everyone. It's not really the case here. You're a monopoly because nobody else tried, or if they did try, they're like, meh, whatever. I will say, it's still unclear whether Game Pass is profitable.
I don't
We
think
know
it
it,
is yet.
and so there could be, to a certain extent. We know Xbox essentially lost the console wars last generation.
Yes.
And so they kind of need this. If they just crush Sony for the next 5 years, I fully anticipate Game Pass to like double in price.
Oh, for sure.
Where they're like, well, now that we have you hook, line, and sinker, then I mean, there's no other options. You either pay for this or you get nothing. And so that's kind of a bummer.
It's like what Netflix is doing.
Yeah, and
Been increasing
then
their prices every few years.
the downside for Netflix is that there are lots of media companies who have lots of money, and so like the Disneys, the HBOs, are just like, well, fuck you, we'll make our own service. I just don't see that. I don't like, other than maybe like Steam. I could see Steam make it. Steam has money, but maybe Amazon, but I just don't see it really.
The thing about Game Pass or Microsoft, like even if they doubled the price of what Game Pass is for like the 3-month subscription, that's still a good fucking deal. Like what they sell it for right now, honestly, is robbery to themselves. Like they're letting us rob them.
I
And
would be
understand
willing.
they're building it up, but
Yeah.
it's still like just the amount of games. If you're someone like Ryan that chronically plays new games all the time, like that's an unbeatable service for me. Where I play 1 or 2 games pretty religiously for weeks to months, not super great deal for me, but
I
So
do.
that's the point I was gonna bring up, and Justin brought it up for me. They could double the price, and I'd still pay it. And like you said, if they do that 5 years from now, think about what else is going to be on there 5 years from now. Like you can put the entire Activision Blizzard library on Game Pass for PC and consoles. Because I think they're talking about moving or making WoW, porting that to consoles. Like that's a possibility.
if they put a WoW sub on Game Pass, I will play WoW again.
Right. But like, I'm just saying it. Like, so you have that, but in the next 5 years, we should have the next Fallout, the next Elder Scrolls, the next, you know what I mean? All this shit, all the Call of Duties that are gonna come up between now and then. 5 years from now, it should probably be exclusive just to Xbox. Like, at that point, they can justifiably double the price of Game Pass, and I think people will keep paying for it. That's just my opinion.
I do wonder what the ratio of you who plays lots of stuff on Game Pass
Right.
and me who has had like 4 months of
Nothing.
Game Pass, and the only thing I've done is load into the character select screen of TMNT.
Right.
I didn't even play the game. I just clicked like one character, and that's as far as we got.
Donatello.
Yeah. So I just kind of wonder, like,
With us.
do what now?
You should play Grounded with us.
It's on Game Pass.
It is on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you wouldn't have to do a single thing for building. We could just go fight and explore. You could do that. Pretty much
That part sounds enjoyable. Like go and fight spiders and shit. Like that sounds
Mhm.
dope. It's the building the bases and stuff that less so. But I
And that's
digress.
done. You don't do that anymore.
Well,
Zip
let's
line
let's
everywhere.
get to Adam. Adam hasn't gotten a chance to talk yet. Adam, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm gonna be a little different, but I don't think they're verging a monopoly. There's still plenty of other people out there that are doing streaming games and stuff. Whether, to your point, are they as successful and big as Game Pass? No, they're not. They're definitely the forerunners of what's going on right now. But like Netflix isn't a monopoly, to your point. Like, but those people have a lot more money. There's a lot more skin in the game for people doing those sort of things and have rights to a lot of different things. So I think that's a big thing. Is just it's getting to the point where there's only a person getting so many rights because Microsoft keeps buying up so many things. But there's still Sony's doing their thing, Nintendo's doing their things. There's still like the game flies of the world out there. There's still a lot of different avenues to do it that may be cheaper and you're not getting all the necessary games that you want, but it's not a monopoly because there's still going to be those little people out there that are trying to do the same thing, but they're going to do it cheaper. So
And
I don't know.
like for the big three for game companies for consoles, right? Like they could do it. You know what I mean? Like Sony and Nintendo could do it. They could, and they're choosing not to.
Yeah, I don't
Like I
know.
said,
Yeah, I was gonna say at one point, do you think they'll just like Nintendo and Sony will gang up somehow? Like all of a sudden,
right,
you'll see Nintendo games on Sony and like some other things, vice versa. Granted, Nintendo's hardware and stuff couldn't handle a lot of the games,
right.
different ways. But no,
So
I don't think they're on the verge of a monopoly, though. To be honest,
right,
I still think there's a lot of people in that streaming of games as a service sort of thing. So
yeah. Like what if Sony released God of War Ragnarok to PlayStation Plus or whatever the fuck they're calling it now, PlayStation Now or whatever? That'd be huge. They could do it. Microsoft would be doing it. Like they
hmm
all their first party games. And think about the amount of classic games on PlayStation just kicks the shit out of Xbox. Like it's not even close. It's not even close. And I just feel like if they ever want to bitch about Monopoly or whatever, like you could do this and you choose not to. And I
yeah.
don't whatever. I don't bitch all you want, I guess. So but I don't know, just to sum up, I feel like this is gonna happen. This merger is going to happen. They're going to buy Activision Blizzard. I don't think there's any stopping it at this point. And bring it on. Just do it. That's fine. So all right, let's move on. Number 2, voice actor Helena Taylor, best known for voicing Bayonetta in the first 2 games of the popular hack and slash series, is speaking up on Twitter, claiming that she is not voicing the protagonist in Bayonetta 3 because the developer Platinum Games only offered to pay her $4,000 for the job. The gig ultimately went to Jennifer Hale, maybe best known for voicing female Commander Shepard in the original Mass Effect trilogy. While Hale has not specifically said anything publicly, she has been liking posts on Twitter from people saying Hale may not have known the situation and was probably under an NDA and therefore could not comment. So this isn't the first of the story. This is definitely like the biggest kind of fuck you to a voice actor I've ever heard. But like if you recall, the original voice actor of Claptrap did not voice Claptrap in Borderlands 3 because he said he wasn't getting paid enough. I think his offer was sizably more than $4,000. Um, but if you watch the video that she put out on Twitter, I don't know the accuracy of this. This is just what she's saying, but Bayonetta is like a $250 million franchise, not including like merchandise, just in like game sales and stuff like that. So I don't know the validity of that. I'm not going to speak to that. And I tried to kind of look it up, and you couldn't really like they had some of how many units sold, but you never know. So if you take her word for it, it's $250 million. So I thought this was kind of interesting that she's speaking up and she's getting a lot of support from other voice actors, which is pretty cool too. So and
Jennifer
even
Hale
game
has said
development.
in a statement now.
What's that?
Jennifer Hale has released a statement now.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she says, as a longtime member of the voice acting community, I support every actor's right to be paid well and have advocated consistently for this for years. Anyone who knows me or has followed my career will know that I have great respect for my peers and that I'm an advocate for all members of the community. She did sign an NDA that prevents her from being able to talk about the specifics of the situation. Hale said, my reputation speaks for itself. I sincerely ask that everyone keep in mind that this game has been created by an entire team of hardworking, dedicated people. and I hope everyone will keep an open mind about what they've created. I hope
Okay.
everyone involved may resolve their differences in an amicable and respectful way.
Probably not, but
The
okay.
most PC answer. I love it.
Right. Well, she probably can say a lot. There's
Yeah, I
probably a lot
know.
she can't say. Um, but anyways, I forgot where I was going with that. So we'll just kick it over to Josh. We'll start with.
Okay, so there's a term called oida shabia, I think. Don't quote me on that because one, I don't remember how to spell it. But essentially, certain companies within Japan they don't want to fire you. So instead, what they do is they move you to things that no human would ever want to do. They just make your life such a living hell that you will quit on your own. I think that is what is taking place here. And you kind of saw that with the director of the game, whose name I can't think of at the moment, originally stated that they didn't go with the original voice actor because their schedules didn't work. And then the voice actor said, my schedule is wide open. And they're like, well, no, it didn't match. Schedules didn't match. That's why. And to me, this reads as, we wanted Hale, but we are incapable of saying that because, like, we don't want to sound like we want a new voice actor. So instead, we're just going to give you like an offer that's so pitiful that there is no way you will ever accept it. So that's what I think happened here. Um, I I don't think that this is because there's no fucking way that Hale took $4,000
No
for
way.
this.
No
There's
chance.
no way. There's no way. So either they lowballed her and I don't know, communications broke down or whatever, and could have gotten more, or they just offered a fuck ton of money to Hale and then wanted the original voice actor to just not be in the picture anymore.
Right.
Is that worth a boycott of the game? I think that's up to you to decide, but if I think I would be more outraged if they took the offer for $4,000, because like that's way underpaid, way underpaid. But they're probably paying the voice actor who does have the job quite a bit of money. They're paying the voice actor quite a bit, I would imagine. So I feel like this is worded as this is like destroying the voice actor industry and everyone should boycott it because they're not paying their people. And I don't think that that's the case. I think they're not paying Taylor
The
specifically.
person.
Specifically.
Right.
Whether that's good or not, I will leave that to y'all to decide. But I don't think that this is a bigger issue of voice actors in general.
I mean, like Corey Barlog, who I follow on Twitter, was the game director of 2018's God of War. He's been with Sony Santa Monica forever. Like, kind of spoke up of how important it is to pay your people well and all that stuff, and take care of them or whatever. So I'm sure, like, I can't. What's the good name of the guy's voice who does Kratos? Kratos. I think his last name's Judge, but I can't remember. Mike Judge, something Judge. Anyways,
If
I mean,
Mike
and that's
Judge, the
full
guy
blown
from
Think
company.
King of the
Mike
Hill.
does like King of the Hill and
Oh yes, okay.
Beavis and Butthead,
stuff,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't
But
remember what it. I know who you're talking about though.
yeah, but I'm sure he got paid a fuckload of money to do Kratos. Like, you know what I mean? Troy Baker, one of the biggest voiceover artists in the world, gets paid a fuckload of money. So I agree with Josh. This is not like the industry is fucking over voice actors. I don't think that's the case at all. Um, but yeah, this was just kind of her specific and Platinum Games specific thing. So Justin, you got anything to add?
Honestly, this is when I read this kind of, I agree with Josh. This reminded me of a like a reverse cancel culture attempt, in that she was offered something she didn't like and is now being just very vocal about it. But I mean, to Josh's point, and kind of to what we were talking about earlier, like if you are offered something for a job and you don't like it, you don't have to take it. And if they thought that you were worthy of more and wanted you as Bayonetta, they would have paid you more. And like you
Right.
guys mentioned, I'm sure Halo is getting way more than $4,000 because
Yeah.
no one's going to take that job for $4,000. So I think the writing is on the wall, and it's just interesting writing in these articles to make it seem like, I mean, they probably could have gone about it a different way, but I didn't really realize that what Josh had mentioned, but when you add that in, that's just a cultural difference. And if that's how things are done in Japan and by Japanese countries, then that, I mean, it is what it is, and you just have to accept it. I saw that the owner or whatever of that company had to shut down his Twitter from
All the hate he got.
hate he's getting from it.
Yeah.
He's kind of a douche before this though. He would ban anyone who replied to him in English, because you like you don't have enough respect to speak to him in Japanese, then like you're getting banned. And sending him a meme, you get banned. Saying that you liked one game more than another game, banned. You just get banned from his account for everything. He was
Well, he's doing you a favor.
yeah, I guess.
Sounds like it.
So he was kind of an asshole beforehand. So not super upset that his Twitter has been turned off, at least temporarily. I don't give a shit, but
Yeah.
Yeah, ultimately, I think though Josh is spot on.
Yeah.
If they thought she was worth more, they would have paid her more. And
So
I
I
would
feel
have
like
I would have taken this way differently if like they told her that she would get a certain amount and then started the work and then dropped it, or like there
Right.
was something shady about it. But if they offered her 4K up front, she said no, then that's between them, and there's no reason to be.
I do feel like a ton of this could have been avoided had they just been like, we don't want you back. You know what
But
I mean?
again,
Like,
Yeah.
that's a U.S. thing, not a
Yeah,
Japanese
right.
thing. So you're expecting
Right.
a cultural thing
So-
for us that isn't what it is for them.
yeah, the one thing that could throw off my thoughts about it is that they're the English voice actor, so you would think that there'd be like a translation team or like
Right.
a localization team. The fact that the director of the game, like in Japan, is the one who replied to all of those things makes me feel like they had much more of a decision over it. But there is the possibility that this was entirely the U.S. based team and it had nothing to do with like Japanese culture. I just doubt it, personally.
I mean, even
it
if it's a
seems
U.S. based team and they're used to working with the Japanese,
yeah.
that they could just be used to that, or maybe I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
Who,
there's a
who
lot of
pays who
unknowns.
pays the paycheck? Yeah, yeah. So
And what
Yeah.
if Taylor sucks to work with? What if there's a reason? That
Yeah.
Right. There might be way more
Is
behind the story.
Right.
she enjoyable to have in the studio, or is she kind of a piece of shit herself? I know literally nothing about this woman.
Yeah.
So
Right.
take that all with a grain of salt.
Adam, you got anything to add?
My only thing that I was gonna add is like, does anyone actually play Bayonetta for the voice acting? Because we all know what people play Bayonetta for, and it's not the voice acting. It's the character
It's
and
because
the
the controls are really
merchandising and all
good,
that
right?
bullshit.
Yeah.
So, the funny part about it is I was reading this is like it was probably something ridiculous. Like, we want you for like 4 10-hour sessions, or like a couple 4 like hour sessions. We're gonna pay you like a couple $100. It's like it's probably not bad for like an hour's work. You know what I mean? Because you probably didn't have to do shit for Bayonetta, but whatever.
Yeah, I've never played a Bayonetta game. Have you guys ever
I
played
mean,
Bayonetta?
I've seen bits and pieces, and it's like a hack and slash, like Devil May Cry sort
Right.
of thing. Like I just feel like the voice acting is not
So
really a thing
is
per
there even a
se.
lot of
But
dialogue in it? Like, I don't even know. I've never played. So
The only
Yeah.
Bayonetta I've played is in Super Smash Bros. So
right,
Yeah.
so I was gonna say that's about
Right.
it. But so I don't know. Like I don't think a lot of people like for the dialogue. So that's why I was like, when we went back a long time ago and we were talking about like how much models and stuff get paid and stuff like that. I was like, I wonder if voice actors get paid, a couple $100 a session, maybe a couple hours. And I was like, maybe that seems about right. I don't know,
Right.
but just because
knows?
the franchise is worth a lot doesn't mean you're necessarily going to get paid a lot. I understand you're the main character, but
Yeah.
to our point, it's not like a memorable voice clearly or
And
something.
also,
You're
like,
not that character.
the
So
the face is not modeled after you. The body's not. You know what I mean? If
yeah.
it's not like mocap, is what I'm getting
Yeah.
at. You know what I mean? It's just So,
So I was
I,
just kind of like, yeah, interesting, because I don't think normal people would even know the voice of Bayonetta. So
I'd be
Right.
willing to bet a large percentage of the Bayonetta fan base would be fine watching it on mute.
exactly my
just
point.
throwing it out there.
love it. I love it. All right, boys, that wraps up news. Justin, guess what time it is?
It is conspiracy theory time.
Yeah.
So we need like a theme song.
Ba-do-boo-ba-do-boo.
Conspiracy theory in the morning. No, we probably can't do that.
Yeah, probably not that one. We'll get in trouble. So Josh was the only successful one last week. Was it just Josh? One
Josh,
person
the
got
only
it right.
successful one
I
last
can't
week?
remember.
Maybe
I don't
maybe
think
nobody
did I
got it right.
did I get it right? I don't think I did.
I think you were the only one who got it right.
That was maybe me, but I can't remember.
I think
Was
I
it
think
you?
Adam was. Yeah, that's
Okay,
who I was
alright,
thinking.
Adam.
I was like, I think
Oh,
I've lost like
she is showing him
five
the
in a
card.
row.
She showed there's cheating, there's collusion.
Collusion.
I swear I didn't look. I was looking down because Huxley was on my lap
Scratching
that
his
whole
back,
time,
like,
and then
Totally. Yeah.
he came over and then Huxley left. So I was looking
Can't wait till
down at
Justin gets this one right all of a sudden. Okay, that's fine.
There was also a cat in my Google search over here, so I mean, if I'm
Yeah.
distracted, it.
I hate you guys. All right,
All right, go ahead.
keep
of
in
who,
track
of
of
who wins. Good.
if you want to.
Okay.
That's probably good.
Well, anyways, we'll start with tonight. In a 1992 poll, approximately how many Americans claim to have been abducted at least once by aliens?
1920 poll.
1992?
Wow.
A little off, but
Did I say 1920?
no, you said 1992.
Okay. Is it A, 4,000, B, 40,000, C, 400,000, or D, 4 million?
Going B.
I was
I'm
going to
going
go
B
B.
as well.
I think 40.
I'm going A. Let's do A.
Well, I feel like I need to go C. If we got an A, two Bs, I'll be C.
400,000.
400,000 people.
Well, you're all wrong. It is 4 million.
What?
Jesus Christ.
In
There's
90
no way. Really?
Yeah,
Holy shit.
people?
I was closest.
You're
Uh,
right. Closest
it-
without going over. Price is Right rules.
Yeah.
Just
who did
wins, but
who did they poll? Like, did they poll like a UFO convention? Like, Jesus Christ.
People exclusively hang out outside Area 51.
It's
That's all it
Roswell,
is.
New
say-
Mexico.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say they probably pulled all of the Alex Jones listeners, but I
No
can't
shit.
imagine there's 4 million of them.
no way there's 4 million. Yeah.
Speaking of which, this is a little bit off topic. I apologize. Did you see some jackass on the Daily Mail today? One of his podcasts was talking about how all anime is satanic. All of it. If you watch anime, it's satanic. I was like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Is it a
I
new
can't,
D&D thing or something?
I can't with
I
this
mean,
shit.
that's what they said about video games.
Right.
And
So,
there's like a video online of like a Christian group that like in the 90s was super into that Pokemon was satanic, and watch them because it's hilarious. I will try to find this and post it in Discord if I
I'll
can track
check
it
it out.
down. But it
sounds
is
delightful.
hilarious because they are not joking whatsoever, and that makes it so much funnier. But
Very nice. All right. Okay. So let's do some listener questions. First up, Pistol Pete writes in, "Hi, Pistol Pete.
Pistol
What up,
Pete.
Mr. P? Pew,
Pew,
pew.
pew, pew. Pew, 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 pew.
He says, "Hey guys, I know you bash EA and Ubisoft, and rightfully so, but let's say something nice about them. What is your favorite game made by EA and Ubisoft?" So this is an interesting one. We were talking a little bit before we were recording without saying our answers, but I found the EA one difficult. Josh found the Ubisoft one difficult. So I think Adam found them both difficult. No, I'm just kidding. So, um, just let's go to you first. What is your favorite EA game and your favorite Ubisoft game?
So I got a few things here, and I did pick games that were published and developed by a studio, so not just. But for EA, Army of Two was a fantastic game. Absolutely love those, and I was gonna throw out Mirror's Edge as a aside
Oh,
because
there you go.
Mirror's Edge was a fantastic game.
forgot
The
about
first one.
The first one, I never
Yeah,
played the second one,
it was
but like
terrible.
Mirror's Edge for how like low graphic and blah it looked, the gameplay and I don't know, gameplay was just it was a super fun. I thought Army of Two and Mirror's Edge are both very well done. And then for Ubisoft, anything Tom Clancy,
Yeah,
all
I
the
figured that
Rainbow
was coming.
Six, the Splinter Cells, Ghost Recons, even Hawks. I absolutely loved the jet fighter one.
Oh, okay.
And then that End War or whatever the RTS they made, I loved that one. So, um, I mean, I think that there was other games on the list that I would say, but none like reached out to me like those.
Okay, fair enough. Good choices. Josh, go to you next.
so for EA, I went FIFA 2019, specifically that one. Um, Not actually, because I've never played a FIFA
I
game.
was like, wait, what?
No, actually, I played one FIFA game at Justin's apartment, and like
It's like
years
you
and
had to
years and
play
years
FIFA
ago.
with us back in the day.
I played exactly one session, got my ass kicked, and then we watched Fast and the Furious. Don't remember which one.
Oh,
Um,
God.
but
So it was a bad day all around.
it was pretty enjoyable. We
Wow.
I don't know, but I enjoyed it. So I took a very specific route on how I decided this, which was to just scroll until something that looked good. I took a lot of scrolling to get in Ubisoft. So EA, just because top of mind, I love the game, Dead Space. So, I mean, we've talked about that. I really enjoyed the original Dead Space, Dead Space 2. And so, is it my favorite EA game of all time? Maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of EA games. I'm not scrolling through every franchise that they have. But that was the first one that jumped out to me as that I really enjoyed. Ubisoft, I scrolled for a hot minute because I don't give a shit about Tom Clancy books or games. None of those. Didn't really care for Assassin's Creed all that much. I've never played any of the Far Cries, so like every time I search for their franchises, I'm like, nope, scroll. So Prince of Persia
Good choice.
was pretty fucking dope.
Quality purchase.
Yeah.
And I forgot they made it until I was looking through the games that they've made on their like Wikipedia page, and jumped out to me as like really enjoyable. Like Prince of Persia, like Sands of Time or something, was just top notch.
They were all good, really.
Watch the speed run of that as well, because it's fucking bonkers. It is so broken. so broken by speedrunners. Very entertaining. But those are my answers.
Okay, very good choice. That just reminded me. When was the last time we heard about the Prince of Persia remake? You remember
A
that?
long
A
time.
while back.
Holy
We talked
shit.
about it a long time ago.
Did it come out and they just fizzled, or did they just
Nope,
like
nothing.
quietly remove it from the slate?
Straight to VHS.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
last update came May 2nd of this year, saying that it was being delayed. Oofta. Oh, I remember. Was
Some
that
serious delay that need to work.
was that Game Awards 2 years ago that we saw that? And Adam and I both saw it and went like, ugh, this does not
It
look
didn't
good.
look very. Yeah, I was gonna say. I remember
Yeah.
it just like did not look any better. It's like nothing really new they're bringing to
Right.
the table, and it's like, what are you doing?
Right. All right. Sorry for that little tangent, but Adam, what do you got?
So for my EA game, the first couple Need for Speeds, those were.
Undergrounds?
I mean, or just like the OG
Oh,
Need for
OG.
Speeds, like PlayStation, and when those first came out, like those were awesome. They kind of set its own genre for games. Those first Need for Speeds.
Fair enough.
Played a shit ton of those, so that was probably my and kind of went with Justin, like them being the developer and everything. I think it was EA Canada that did those games, and they were awesome at it. So that was my favorite EA game, and then Ubisoft Assassin's Creed Black Flag was probably my favorite one by them.
Yeah. Definitely.
Close second was Far Cry 3.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, Far Cry 3 was close to my top two. That's a damn
Yeah.
good choice.
So
And
those
then
are
that,
my Ubisofts, because again, it was kind of hard to pick because there isn't a lot of good ones out there.
right,
But yeah,
yeah. So for EA, I think Dead Space is my real answer because that's fair. My kind of cheating answer is Mass Effect 2 because technically BioWare did Mass Effect 1 by themselves, so they kind of started the whole thing, and then EA bought BioWare before they released Mass Effect 2. So it was already very much going already, so that's kind of a cheat. But, and then, of course, so Mass Effect 2 was like already in development when they bought it, but, and then I'm going to blame EA for ruining the ending of Mass Effect 3. I think they can take the heat for that, so. But, so yeah, I think Dead Space is the safe bet. That could be my real answer. I fucking love Dead Space. Goddamn good game. Ubisoft, I'm kind of with Justin a little bit. I'm not that hardcore into Tom Clancy as he is, but I really like the Division games. Like very much like the Division games. More so the setting of them. Um, I did really enjoy those games. Assassin's Creed Black Flag's another good one. Prince of Persia, I totally forgot about. Completely forgot about Prince of
same.
Persia. Yeah, completely forgot about it. But I'll go with the Division 1 and Division 2 from Ubisoft. I did. I really enjoyed those games. So even though the enemies just could take a billion bullets, but some of them before they died, but I still very much enjoyed it. So, all right. Well, thank you very much for the question, Pistol Pete. That was a good one. Up next, Christian's got a fun one for us. Hey, Christian.
Hey,
What up,
Christian.
Christian?
Christian.
Christian says, "Hey, gents, merge a classic Nicktoon or Cartoon Network show with a game you love. What would it be?" I had a lot of fun. There's a few answers you can do for this one. So, Adam, let's kick it over to you first. What do you got?
So I had two because
Okay.
I again just thought this question was really fun. I wanted a mashup between Rocco's Modern Life and Legends of Zelda. So Legends of Rocco or something, I don't even know, but have it placed in his world, but like a Legends of Zelda, like top down sort of feel. I just thought that'd
Nice.
be hilarious.
There you go.
Even though he did have Rocco's Modern Life had a game, and
Oh,
it
for
was
sure.
okay. It wasn't a super great game. Other one that I thought would be really funny would be Johnny Bravo meets like Leisure Suit Larry, because he's
Oh,
already like
oh,
halfway
Perfect.
there pretty much.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I thought that would have been hilarious.
Dude, kind of a side tangent. Can you imagine if Johnny Bravo was on the air today?
I saw
I-
something recently with some clips of that show, and I was like, I forgot how ridiculous that was. Like,
Right.
holy shit.
The show would exist today. No
Yeah.
chance. Oh, I fucking love it. But when we were kids, it was awesome. So, damn, good choices, sir. Very good choices. Justin, go to you next.
So mine is kind of goofy, and it's a old cartoon, obviously from back in the day. But then the game was on the Sega Game Gear. Going with Rocket Power and Surf Ninjas.
Fucking Surf Ninjas, dude. Hell yeah.
Never played that.
Dude, that movie was dope too.
Yeah, it was. I just felt like the
There was a
Rocket Power
cartoon of
theme.
it? Did I miss
Oh
that?
no,
Surf
Rocket Power
Ninjas?
was Rocket
Oh,
the
Rocket
cartoon.
Yeah.
Power was the oh, got
Yeah.
it.
Rocket
Ooh.
Power as the cartoon
That's dope.
in the Surf Ninja world.
Got it.
I like it. Dude, I remember that game on your Game Gear. I remember that.
Yeah, it was
Fuck,
hard.
that's crazy.
Games
Yeah.
back then were way harder than they
Oh,
are
for
nowadays.
sure. Like old school. Remember, you had X-Men game too. That was fucking impossible. It was fucking impossible. There's no way to
Super
beat
fun. I loved playing just to get to be the X-Men, and you never got anywhere. It was
No.
too hard.
It's
You went nowhere.
all made by companies who are making arcade games. They're like,
Right.
bring us your quarters.
Right, exactly. I like it. All right, good choice. Josh, what about you?
I went something a little more serious, which is Samurai Jack and The Wolf Among Us, or any of the
Oh.
Telltale games.
Mm,
I just
gotcha.
love like the world that they, Gendy Tarkovsky, is that his name? Made in Samurai Jack, because there's so many like interesting characters. There's so many dynamics between like the evil people like corrupt with Aku's power and like Jack. I think it would just make a really sweet game actually. So I would love that. Go
Yeah.
watch Samurai Jack if you haven't seen it. It's holds
Very
up super well.
Very good. I never watched the final season, but very good.
I didn't actually. The new season that came out like
Yes.
10 years later. Never saw it, but I heard it was good, but I just never got around to it.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Guys,
So
real quick. So I posted the X-Men gameplay in Twitch chat.
Mhm.
But on the video, one of the top comments is, "Dude, this game was so hard to beat." And someone replied, "This was my Dark Souls before Dark Souls."
Yes.
hell yeah. I like it. Okay, so my first one was kind of my joke answer, which is Marvel's Avengers, but with the entire cast of like Quailman from Doug. Like
Mm,
Yes. I
just
like it.
them as the superheroes. That was my kind of joke answer. My real answer is Persona 5 Rugrats. I feel like it's kind of like, think about it. They already go into their imagination on these crazy adventures and shit.
yeah, but there's nothing ever super evil and dark like there is in Persona. Like,
Dude,
what's the darkest
you
thing? Like someone stole someone's cookie.
but right. But like, and I was thinking about it, like the characters could fit too. You know what I mean?
They
Like
could.
they could.
You can
Like
make it work.
there's like Tommy would be Joker, obviously. Um but I feel like, so there, I can't say anything without spoilers, but Angelica has a place too, I think. If you know
Yeah.
kind of who I'm
Yeah.
thinking about.
Yeah.
So I feel like it would kind of merge all right. It'd be all right. So maybe a little dark, but
Who would be the monsters in it? Like, you know what I mean? The like 100 or so different like monsters
right.
and personas in it. Like, I don't know how
I
you'd
feel
fit
like
those.
Reptar would be a persona for sure.
Okay, there's
Be like
one.
Tommy's.
No,
Out of
but
like
yeah,
100 some.
he'd be like Joker's persona, or you know what I mean?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
that'd be
That would
dope.
make sense.
I don't know, man. I think it would work, and I think it'd be cool as hell, man. I loved Rugrats when I was a
What
kid.
was the redhead kid's What is it? Chucky. His would be a big brave dog. Obviously, would have to be his his
What were the-
persona.
What were the twins?
Only real
names?
Rugrats fans will get that joke. So
Right. I feel like the grandpa was kind of a pervert, wasn't he? A little bit.
There is a particular scene where he talks about like renting some like Moon Vixen's alien porn. They
Maybe
they
that
don't
could go change his heart.
expressly state that it's porn, but it is heavily inferred.
Yeah. I like it. Or and Angelica's mom works all the time. They could go try and change her. I'm just saying, man. There's possibilities there. Just saying. Be a dope ass.
it's a
game.
stretch, but I like
It's-
it.
Stu is like
I like it.
constantly working on inventions and shit, like
Yeah,
constantly burned
see?
out.
Yeah. Hell yeah. There you go. All right. Well, thank you very much for the question, Christian. That was a good one.
I just had to pull up Surf Ninja on IMDb just because I kind of forgot about it. And I forgot that Rob Schneider was one of the ninjas.
Interesting.
Could you,
He's in
oh, that
everything.
movie. If we went back and rewatched that movie, it'd be so bad. So bad. But we were really. Huh?
I kind of want to though.
Yeah.
This picture of Leslie Nielsen, I just gotta as the bad guy. I'm gonna post in Discord because
It's
this
so
is just-
ridiculous.
That just
this
kind
is
of
just good.
reminded me. I don't know how I came across this the other day, but I was on the.
How good is that picture? Leslie
That-
Oh
Nielsen
wow.
in
So many
the
overlays.
samurai garb.
With
like an
with the
M60.
M60. That's awesome.
Ridiculous.
For audio
Mhm.
listeners, there's a dog barking in the background for Ryan.
It's like 30 degrees out. Who's walking their fucking dog right now? Drives me nuts. Anyways.
Put on
Sorry.
a coat and you walk your dog. I walked my dog this morning. Jesus.
All right. What was I
I
talking
was gonna
about?
say a good dog. owner.
Right.
Fuck you.
Surf ninjas.
Oh,
Liam
I was on
Neeson.
the
I don't know.
IMDb page the other
Wait, no,
day.
not Liam Neeson.
The IMDb page
Neeson.
the other day, and I came across. Justin, remember the movie Angels in the Outfield?
Yes.
You remember that
Yeah.
movie? Dude, Matthew McConaughey's in that movie. He plays one of the players. I was like, holy shit,
Hmm.
really? Shit.
Angels in the
good.
outfield.
Yeah, dude, he plays one of the baseball players that like the Angels pick up to catch that fly ball that was gonna be a home run. Yeah, he plays one of the baseball players.
Hmm.
Good times, good movies we watched when we were kids.
Danny Glover.
I still like Gary Busey
1994.
in Rookie of the Year as the pitcher.
Fuck yeah, Rookie of the Year.
Surf Ninjas was 93. Angel in the
That's-
Outfield was 94. Tony Danza, Joseph Gordon-Levitt,
Oh yeah, just go.
Neil McDonough,
Yeah, dude, there's a ton of people. Weird.
Adrian Brody, Matthew.
Yeah, he was in it
McConaughey,
too. Yeah.
I don't remember Adrian Brody being in that.
Dermo Mulroney. I didn't know who that was until I just read the name, but you guys would all recognize him if you
Yeah.
also looked him up. Huh.
Good
Crazy.
times.
Trip down memory lane.
All right. Finally, Adam probably not our Adam writes in. Hi, Adam.
What up, Adam?
What up, Adam?
Adam says, if you fell into a coma 5 years ago and woke up today, what would blow your mind the most about what you missed or what has changed? Josh kicks off.
So I thought about this for probably far too long, because like media, I think it's like an obvious progression. You know, like gaming and things like that are obvious progressions where there hasn't been like a huge enough jump that it has seemed outlandish. So the only topic that I have really followed the last few years that are just mind blowing is quantum physics. Just like our advancements in quantum entanglement and like particles and just generally the advancements that we've made in like quantum computing is just mind blowing. It 5 years is a really long time in that field, and so I find it very interesting, and so I think that would be one thing that would be surprising to me.
Interesting. Okay.
Nerd.
I'm all right with that. I'm
Our
all right with.
podcast is
I was
called
never.
Identity Crisis.
I was never aiming for anything else. So it is a
I
very
just pictured
interesting.
The what?
Sorry, go ahead, John.
I was going to say it is a very interesting subject. Like if you start reading about all the stuff that's coming out these days, it is very cool. But
Justin, since
I just pictured that GIF of the Simpsons one where they're
Right.
the yellow car. That was what I thought of when I said it.
well, let's see what your super cool answer is, Justin.
So I think I'm going to let you guys all down here. And when I was looking over this earlier, I didn't realize there was a second page.
Oh, so you
quit.
never saw this?
I quit reading at Christian's.
Okay.
I will say the first thing that came to mind, it's not quite as relevant, but like if you would have went into a coma and then woke up like in the midst or right after COVID, that would have been a bit of a mind fuck because we haven't had anything like that in a really long time.
oh yeah,
So if you woke up and left the hospital and everyone's just wearing masks and everything, you'd be like,
What the
is this
fuck?
28 days later? Are there zombies?
That
Or
that
like
kind of
in the
happened to Jared Leto. Did you hear that he was like on some like spirit journey in the middle of the desert for like 2 weeks?
Yeah,
Surprise.
I remember that.
No cell phone, no anything. And then he went out there and then the lockdown happened and then he came back. I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, that'd be a mind fuck.
like in the the cusp of it all when like nobody was leaving their house, so like the roads were just empty. There was
Yeah,
like no
right.
no one to be seen. Like
Dude.
that's gotta be like pretty terrifying if you have
turn
no
on the-
idea.
You turn on
I mean,
the news and they'd show like downtown Vegas and there's just nobody. You're like, what the fuck?
I'm
like-
sure the doctor would warn you, but still, I think that
Yeah.
would be a pretty nutty.
Just welcome back to the world of the living. Just to let you know, everyone's dying. The world is ending. Welcome back.
Or if you like teleported to the future, like you had a time machine, you're like, I wonder what the future's like. You walk out to like what should be a busy street, and there's just like a tumbleweed going by. Like, yeah, that's gotta be pretty terrifying.
No shit. I love it. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, other than that, since I didn't realize that was a question, I'll just use that.
Okay, fair enough. Adam, what do you got?
It's a good one because that's what I picked.
Was it?
But yeah, I mean, even if it wasn't like during it, but even after it, if you realized like, wait, people wore masks for like multiple years, or just never left their house for multiple years, or you ask someone how long ago did you do something, and they always say it's 2 years less than what it actually was because everyone just forgets that those 2 years like even happened. Like, yeah, I think that's where you'd wake up and be like, that's very unusual and very out of the ordinary if you didn't have the context behind it. So that was absolutely what I picked.
Another one I just thought of would be, I would think how stupid NFTs are.
Okay.
Like people would tell me that they're spending millions of dollars on an internet picture without any actual anything. I'd be like, excuse me?
NFTs are.
You're spending like $10,000 on a JPEG, right? Am I understanding this right? It's not even like a PNG. It's not even lossless. Really?
My runner up though was the whole GameStop stock thing.
Ooh, yeah, there you go.
Like, wait, people made millions off GameStop? How?
Yeah.
What?
Did they
that
come
terrible
back?
company?
Nope.
Like, what?
Yeah, right.
GameStop
must have-
isn't even making millions. What do you mean?
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like, how? But yeah, that was my runner up.
Actually, in 2017, were they doing all right? Maybe they were doing okay. I don't know.
I don't think
They've
so.
never been great. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, all right, very good. Mine, one, self-driving cars, I think would blow my fucking mind. Like, can you imagine, like, where's that company that's doing it in Phoenix, Arizona? It's like their test area. What's that called? I can't remember.
I don't
It's
remember
just,
the name of the
yeah,
company, but
subsidiary of Google.
Crash USA.
Yeah, but they have like they have like 600 self-driving cars out on the road right now, so I think that would blow my mind quite a bit. Because in 2017 that was just not really a thing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
nobody was talking about
Shouldn't we have
self-driving
flying cars by now, though? Really?
or hoverboards.
at least hoverboards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. At
right.
least, yeah.
But then my games related answer would be just how big Game Pass has gotten because it launched. I looked it up. June 1st of 2017 is when it launched,
Hmm.
so it's been slightly over 5 years since launch, and grown exponentially since then. So
What
that's
year
kind
did
of
it
my.
launch, you say?
What's that?
What year did it launch, did you say?
2017, June 1st of 2017 is when it launched. So, and I remember when it launched being like, nobody's gonna fucking do this. Who the fuck is gonna do this? And now I've been a subscriber for years. So, yeah. So there you go. But thank you very much for the question, Adam. We do appreciate it. All right, boys, we'll do a quick pick of the week, and we will get out of here. Let's start with Josh. Josh, what is your pick of the week?
I honestly don't remember if I've done this one or not, so apologies if I'm repeating myself. But I have gotten into the podcast Old Gods of Appalachia.
I don't know if you
Um,
have.
it's a narrative style horror podcast about spooky things in the Appalachian Mountains. So like
Okay.
Tennessee, Kentucky, that sort of region. So you kind of have to like horror because that's what it is, but you also need to understand Southern talk, which
Oh, okay.
luckily all my family are hillbillies,
Like,
so like
Deliverance, Southern talk.
well
Just
like
keep paddling.
do you know what a holler is?
Nope.
Okay, well the definition of holler is the valley between two mountains.
Oh, okay. You
And
mean a
so
valley?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But specifically in the mountains, because you can have a valley between
Okay,
like.
fair enough.
But it's like a southern word. You just kind of have to know because
Okay.
if he says you know within 10 miles of someone's holler, then you gotta have to know what that is. So southern talk. It's something you're just gonna have to get used to. Look up some words if you don't know, or start hanging out with hillbilly mountain folk like my family, and you'll get the southern talk down. But yeah, it's very good. I love horror, and it's narrative driven, so it's like mostly one dude like telling a horror story over multiple episodes. They're very good. They also released an RPG on Kickstarter a few years ago, which is how I originally heard of the podcast. And honestly, it sounds kind of dope. Now, having gone back and listened to 20 some episodes of the podcast, then it might have to find that RPG. But yeah,
Is it basically Deliverance in a tabletop RPG form?
there
much
is
banjo
no rape that happens. Spoiler alert to Deliverance if you have not seen
Yeah,
that movie
spoilers.
or read the
To
book,
a
I guess.
50-year-old movie.
But nah, it's more like witches and spooky, maybe gods, maybe demons, maybe mountain spirits. Um, like people coming back from the dead, like normal spooky shit.
The usual.
Yeah. It does. So there are some stories that delve more into cosmic horror, like H.P. Lovecraft. where the being is so nightmarish it's undescribable, that sort of thing. But so far, 2 seasons in, no banjos,
No banjos.
no squealing like a pig.
There you go.
Again,
Alright.
spoiler alert for a
We got
old
us a
movie and
sow
old book.
here.
Yeah. Um,
Oh,
Awful,
shit.
awful movie. Yeah.
I think it's based on a
Oh.
book, and I don't think the book is much better.
Yeah, right. Okay, Adam, pick of the week.
Mine is YouTube channel Levi Allen. He's a Canadian dude that does adventure stuff,
Okay.
does motorcycle trips, does winter camping, does a little bit of everything. Pretty entertaining guy, super informative and also really fun. But yeah, check him out.
Cool. Very nice. Justin.
So YouTube, but he's also got an Instagram, or I think it's a group of people, but Jakarta Diecast Project.
Jakarta Diecast Project.
Yeah, so it's kind of the other angle of Gaslands in that he takes Hot Wheels and other 1/64 scale and like adds body kits and repaints them and does things to make them look really, really nice. But like I first saw him when I was looking up a Prelude, and at one point he puts this stuff on the side of a car that I made a comment on it, and it's just resin mixed with baby powder, and that's what he uses to make body kit. And so like side skirts and stuff, and just makes cars look way cooler and better, and use like the blister from the Hot Wheel, since on the Prelude Hot Wheel the sunroof is open, but the generation of Prelude like I had, the sunroof went up, and so he took the blister, just cut a piece of the plastic off, and then like made it so that it went up, and then painted the edge black like my Prelude was. And I don't know, he's got a lot of really sweet cars.
their Instagram was dope.
Yeah, the stuff that he does is amazing.
Cool. Okay, so mine, I have picked this one before a few weeks back, but season finale of Rings of Power just happened. Ermagerd. If you're a Lord of the Rings fan, you gotta watch this fucking show, dude. You gotta watch this show. It's so good.
I need to
Um,
catch up on that. I was trying to catch up on the House of Dragons as well. I think I'm like 1 or 2 episodes behind
in House of Dragon.
Rings of Power
Oh, okay.
and House of Dragon. Is there only 9 episodes of House of Dragon?
There's nine. The ninth one came out last night.
And that's the final.
No, there's one more.
Oh shit! I am on 8.
Okay. Okay. There you go. So, yeah, this coming Sunday is gonna be the finale for House of Dragon. Which House of Dragon is kind of a little too slow for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
How you caught up?
I did not watch last night's, but otherwise, yes.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. That's why it's taken me so long
Yeah.
to get through it. Like I'm hoping that they keep having more seasons.
Right.
Like was this meant to be sort of a 1 season spinoff, or were they
No.
gonna do more?
It sounds like there's gonna be multiple time jumps. They're gonna go all the way up until Daenerys is born, from what it sounds like, with
Oh.
time jump after time jump after. Which, by the way, if you're 2 episodes behind on that one, there's another time jump coming. So,
So I think unless there's another time jump,
there's a lot.
because I'm where the king's leprosy is very bad.
Okay, okay, you might be caught up then. All right, fair enough.
We're
Okay,
in spoiler
so
territory.
yeah, I don't want to go any further, but
Yeah, I don't know if that saying that was spoiler, but yeah, I guess maybe it's
Yeah.
on the verge. Sorry.
but Rings of Power, dude. If you're a Lord of the Rings fan, like you can't not watch this show. It was so fucking good. So fucking good. And they're saying, like, obviously it's like this massive budget show, so you're looking at maybe 2 years before the next season, which kind of sucks because I just want to keep watching. But very, 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 very good. Lots of twists and turns in the finale. Some of it I kind of guessed, and some of it I did not guess at all. So really, really fucking good show. Everybody should check it out. But
I
Alright.
saw a interview, I think, with like the director or like one of the writers or something, and they pretty much said, if you thought season 1 was good, season 2 is gonna blow it off the face of the earth. So
sweet.
For Rings of Power.
yeah, yep.
So it's not canceled.
No, fuck
Doesn't
no.
yeah.
I was
It's
kind of nervous that it would
it's
be.
Amazon's most watched show ever. So
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
that's really good to hear.
yeah, so they'll be fine. So, all right, boys, but that wraps up episode 118. Thanks everybody for tuning in. If you're listening to this after the fact, just remember every single Monday, 6:30 p.m. Central Time, live on twitch.tv/identitycrisis. Come say hello. We would appreciate it. And if you want to see our beautiful faces instead of listening to the audio version, youtube.com/nerdidentitycrisis. I did see we had an episode a few back that had like 70 views. So that was kind of cool. So
Nice.
It's been
don't know
showing up
how-
on my YouTube a lot lately.
Yeah. I don't know how accurate that is. I never know like how accurate. Like even when like Buzzsprout says this is how many people, I never know if it's totally accurate or not. But yeah. So we appreciate everybody listening. Thank you so much. Thanks for our Twitch viewers who joined us. We'll see you next week. Bye, Twitch. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.